So rapper Sweetie is trending all over social media due to the fact that her current EP, The Single Life, basically flopped with a whopping 2,000 downloads, all right? And she has 13 million Instagram followers alone and millions of followers on other social media outlets.
The dots ain't connecting. The math ain't mathing. Let me get to the bottom of it.
Now, she did a mini press tour. She did an interview with Teen Vogue discussing the project. But relatively, for the most part, she didn't do much advertisement about her project, and it felt like things was delayed probably because on this EP, she addresses her relationship with Quavo from Amigos, who's actually currently going through a lot due to the fact that his band member and his nephew, Takeoff, died and was killed earlier in the month of November. So I think she kind of like delayed her project a little bit, but she decided to release it, and people on social media wasn't too happy about it. But in this video, I'm basically going to like discuss what I think may have happened, which has led to these significantly low downloads of her new project. And not just her, but there's a lot of hip-hop acts lately that has fallen victim to these low numbers and these low calibrations when it comes to their album releases and projects coming out this past fall. Of course, one of the people that comes off the top of the head automatically is the baby, with his recent project only getting about 20,000 downloads. And look, y'all, I'm just gonna get to the point. I honestly think that it's the record label's involvement, and it's just sketchy business going on behind the scenes because things are not adding up. There's no way that you can have 13 million followers on Instagram, and then when you release a musical project, you only get 2,000 downloads. Like, listen, I know a lot of you guys want to say like, hey, well, maybe all of her fans turned their back on her, or y'all just want to make up any excuse. But to me, it's screaming hacker, it's screaming bots, being involved somewhere in this woman's career. And I'm not saying that I have to say allegedly, I'm not saying that she's botting her page, but I am saying that maybe the record company that she is, signed to is doing some finagling and playing with some numbers to make it look as if she has more or less people downloading her project than it actually is. It's just bizarre to me for her to have like songs like My Type and all these other videos that's on YouTube reach like 50 million downloads and views and things of that nature. And for her to drop a EP, mind you, she hasn't even dropped her freshman album. For her to drop this EP and literally nobody downloads it, it's very odd to me. And it's just like in a circumstance like this, who is really to blame? Like for me, I personally believe it's the A&Rs that's responsible for this whole situation. And it just really shows how lazy record labels and record labels executives have gotten when it comes to marketing and promoting an artist. Another thing is, of course, the quality of the music in general. I believe that Saweetie, she needs to expand her topics a bit more. And, I just think this is just the age and the generation of hip hop that we're in when it comes to female rappers. Now, there has been a huge resurgence of female rappers. We went through an era where we literally just had Nicki Minaj for a decade and we didn't have as many female hip hop artists. And then that just shifted when Cardi B came out a few years ago. And then after that, it's been a ton of girls coming out, making their own music. And most of the music is more so like sexualized or thought music, promoting sex. And, but it's the thing where it's like, the women in hip hop promote sex. The men in hip hop promote sex and violence. So it's like, I can't sit here and drag the girls and say, oh, her content is that, it's too vulgar, it's blah, 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 blah. Because her male counterpart, they basically do the same thing. And look at them. They making a lot of money for the most part, But I just feel like in regards to Saweetie's situation, I believe that whoever's in charge of her marketing, her promotion, the A&R that's in charge of her record label, I feel like she needs to sit down and reconsider her business ties to this current record label. And I know that in contracts, of course, you're required to put out a certain amount of albums, but just looking at her statistics, it's just not making any sense. Someone is in the background lying about some statistics, or has been lying from the get-go about how many people support this woman. Now, I see her all over social media, so I feel like the likelihood of her actually botting majority of her followers could be pretty low, but it could be high. I mean, she has 13 million. So maybe in real life, she has 5 million followers, you know? And then you break those numbers down and say, okay, of 5 million followers, only 1% of those people are going to actually, show up to your concert. And of that 1%, another 1% of those people are going to actually download your records, which will bring you down to a certain amount of people. But there's no way in hell that you could take 13 million. Let's just cut it in half and make it 50% of that, which is 7 million. And the record label basically bought it another 7 million. Really, if you do the numbers, the math is not mathing. You still would at least get 20,000 downloads. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And Saweetie's on social media basically going back and forth with her fans. She took to Twitter basically saying, I make music for the pretty bitches. If you can't relate, I understand. And then after that just set everything off. And all of these Fanamies, I'm going to call them Fanamies because a lot of these people don't even like Saweetie. They just be on her Twitter just harassing her. They went under there basically going in on her, trying to make fun of the fact that she only allegedly got 2,000 EP downloads. Now, I went on YouTube and her numbers is showing at least 6 figures. So I'm not exactly sure where they're actually getting these numbers from. Maybe they're just talking specifically about like Spotify, Apple Music possibly. But yeah, Saweetie is fed up. She's going back and forth with her fans. She's going so hard with these people that she's literally giving free advertising to unknown hip-hop artists. All right, so this one guy, he made a comment replying back to Saweetie's tweet about her basically making music for only the pretty bitches, and he says, damn, I didn't know it was only 2,000 pretty bitches in the world. Then she tagged him in his Spotify that had like 1 monthly listener and said, I hope all 2,000 support you, babes. Well, listen, Saweetie, I know this is supposed to have been a read and a dig, but you just literally gave this man free advertisement. Listen, all I know is at this point, Saweetie's career may be in trouble. I don't know who's running what at Warner Brothers because this is the people that she's supposed to be signed to and did the distribution deal with her. But we need some answers. We need some answers on these statistics. Like, I know that the record industry has been in trouble for literally the past maybe 10 to 15 years when they started to do the streaming thing. But a lot of these numbers are looking crazy and it's making me wonder, like, could there be, and I'm trying to get real, like a little cryptic and just start thinking and not be a sheep about it. But I'm wondering, is there some investigation going on with these artists and their streams? Why is it that all of a sudden, towards the last quarter of 2022, all of the music artists that's dropping their music is flopping? Like, and we're talking about people with like 50 million followers on Instagram, 13 million followers on Instagram. I just feel like if there's some deeper things going on behind the scenes that could be the answer to why all of these artists' music albums are flopping or EPs are flopping and they're not getting the proper downloads that they deserve. I mean, Saweetie is literally fresh off a Grammy nomination last year and now she can't even sell at least 10,000 equivalent EP sales, you know? And also another thing it makes me wonder is how is she still signed to her record label if this is what she's given? Back in the day, they did black music artists so bad where they would release artists if they didn't hit 1 million. Like, that was the standard. Like, you had to have at least 1 million record sales in less than 6 months to a year for you to even be considered to keep your contract. But now an artist can sell 2,000 copies or equivalent. And I'm talking about streams, y'all. Back in the day, they expected you to sell hard copy CDs. Like, people had to get their asses up out of their chair, literally walk down to the record store, take a bus, travel, burn some gas to buy your albums and hit that 1 million. They're saying that you could keep your record contract and you're not even getting the streams and downloads needed from people who's literally clicking it off of their phone and it's costing 99 cents. This doesn't make any sense. Math is not math. And I say it again, you guys. What do you guys think may have happened? Do you guys feel like there's some sketchy stuff going on behind the scenes? Do you guys really believe that Saweetie technically really sold 2,000 downloads, or is it just the equivalent to, or maybe it's some new statistics that we don't know about on how they count record sales? This doesn't make any sense. Do you guys believe that maybe Saweetie's team may be finagling with numbers or, you know, fluctuating her numbers to make it seem as if she has more followers than she actually do? You guys share your thoughts. I don't want to pull this video too long because it's really not much for me to say besides it's very suspect and This is happening a bit too often, especially the past few months, especially with the baby only selling 24,000 copies of his project. Now, I know he basically ruined his entire fan base with all the stuff that he did in the antics, but even still, I mean, for him to have that many followers, you would think that he would still have maybe 800,000 people that's still going to be loyal supporters. None of this is making sense. And really what it's given is lazy marketing. It's given lazy promotion. It's given a lazy marketing team, lazy record label. Everybody just seems very, very lazy and money hungry. And listen, I know for a fact that 2,000 downloads is not even a full dollar. So how are any of these celebrities still maintaining millionaire, quote unquote, millionaire status? And this is how much they're selling. Literally TLC sold 10 million records and was bankrupt and broke. And you're telling me that Saweetie is selling 2,000 copies of a song and she's rich, and all of these other people are selling 30,000 copies in a week and they're rich and doing well. Like, I just feel like it's smoke and mirrors at this point, and I need some answers. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video. Share your thoughts about this. Of course, this is the DJ Jericho podcast, where I talk about entertainment news, world news, and gossip. Check out my full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Of course, I'm on TikTok. I'm everywhere, so just follow me, you guys. But outside that, share your thoughts. I just really want to know, because I just feel like we could go so much deeper than this, but I don't want to make the video too long, because I know y'all won't watch. But maybe I'll save that for an extended pod on Spotify or something to really talk about the music industry and the complete downfall of the music industry, because I feel like the music industry used to be like a real honorable industry to be in. We had icons like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince. Now, to really just do a comparison before I get off of here, Warner Brothers is the people that signed Prince. And now you're signing people like Saweetie that's selling 2,000 copies on a project. That's all I need to say. And there's no hate in that, but that's all I need to say. Something needs to change. And it's either the fans are fed up with this crappy music that's being promoted, or somebody is lying around here and just doing whatever they want with these numbers. With that, I gotta go. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.